So we're circling back to the Goryo's creativity deck that we started with at the beginning of the TMT season. It's kind of small, right? But like this one copy of Raph and Mikey, Troublemakers, has like allowed you to build creativity as a Goryo's deck. And after playtesting, I think that I greatly prefer to have this package of cards to a playset of Archon of Cruelties in the creativity shell. For two main or maybe three main reasons. The big one is Archon of Cruelty is not that good against Boros, and to a lesser extent, not that good against Prowess. The Boros is really good at sacrificing a lot of little creatures. They can even kill the Archon of Cruelty easier than they can kill like the slightly higher power toughness Griselbrand and Atraxa. And Raph and Mikey. And it's like Archon just kind of plays a long game against Boros that is like they're just kind of pretty easily able to win. Another thing is when you're playing a playset of Archon of Cruelties in this kind of shell, you are insanely weak to Surgical Extraction, which is a more common card than you really think it is. You're so weak to Surgical Extraction, but not that weak to it here. The other thing is Raph and Mikey is the best. It is between Griselbrand, Emrakul, Atraxa, Archon. Raph and Mikey has just been the best one because it's any of these things plus a 7/7 Trample Haster that's very hard castable. Very hard castable in the creativity shell. This is just the best one. And so I was kind of reflecting on this deck and I was like, boy, I just wish I could draw the Troublemakers more often. I wish I could draw it more often. And then I thought a little bit about cutting Red and 6 for Profane Tutor. And then I just realized, if you cut Red and 6 for Profane Tutor, your mana gets a lot better. Your mana gets a lot better because all of a sudden you're just really a Rakdos deck that's splashing Consign in the sideboard. And because you're now become a Rakdos deck that's splashing Consign in the sideboard, you get to play Fatal Push in the main deck as your removal spell of choice over Discharge and or Bolt, and Push is better than those cards. And so I think it just kind of became a pretty easy swap at that point to move away from the Renix 6s into Profane Tutor and into, I would have had some Edicts, but now we're playing just four push 3 Edict, which has been a great removal suite in this format. And you have more consistent combo. You get to see Raph and Mikey more often. I tutored Raph a lot yesterday with Profane Tutor. And better removal, more comboing more often, and better mana. So pretty dang good. Beyond that, you do get to have a little bit of fun with some of your sideboard cards with Profane Tutor. You can tutor up a Flashfires against Blink and Boros to blow up all of their planes. Also, you don't have to play 2 Ashiok, you can just play 1 and tutor it up and play it against Neoform and Titan. Still liking the Duresses in the sideboard a lot. I think they're pretty versatile. I actually have Duress in a different deck today too. I'm playing a bit more of a split of Brotherhood and Pyroclasm Meltdown. I kind of just want 4 of these effects against Boros and Affinity. And so we're kind of doing End comes in both the matchups, and then you have Pyroclasm and Meltdown for Boros and Affinity respectively. So you just have extra sweepers because these decks are so popular on Magic Online right now. Thoughts of Bitter Triumph over Sheoldred's Edict for discard value. Sheoldred's Edict is the best removal spell in Modern. I'm good. We don't need more discard value. Sheoldred's Edict is just so much better. It is what it is. Yeah, I'm definitely feeling better health wise too the last few days. This is a Kappa Cannoneer side of Draco format. Yeah, you just gotta play it. My opponent, after some deliberation, has decided to play Ragavan turn 1 in their Boros deck. We'll see how that works out for them. I'm gonna go ahead and Fatal Push the Ragavan. I am a Mana Tithe player around her, although I haven't seen the card in a while, to be fair. I saw a new iced coffee deck showed up. Is that a new one from last night or a new one from stream? We played that one yesterday. We did go 1-2 after some insane losses to Boros, but I will say I actually liked the build a lot, and I would I think prefer to play that as my iced coffee build of choice. All right, I think we go looting first here. Could one issue maybe is Emrakul. If we draw Emrakul, it's a little awkward. Although we could just hold it in hand. Although we're not gonna experience it. I guess we'll discard 1 theater, 1 fetch land. Hope to find something for next turn. But yeah, I thought that build looked great yesterday. The flesh blood seemed great. The extra interactions seemed great. The cyborg seemed great. It seemed better than the Onyx build. Um, we had some like disgusting games against Boros where we like Inquisition turn 1, and then we had Culling Ritual on turn 3 after an Explorer. We were just dead before we could cast it. We like Thoughtseize them, and they immediately like top deck. They immediately top deck like Legend of Roku. It was rough. It was rough. Someone else 5-0'd with ISO covers card. Nice. I mean, the card build I think is still reasonable, but I liked the other build. So yeah, so they're playing Culling Ritual the side, which is I guess fine. I'm not. They just cut 2 sideboard slots for Culling Ritual. Maybe this is something. Maybe this is the answer overall. They are playing a Ghost Quarter too, which I'm not a believer in. I'm a believer in Blaststone over Ghost Quarter, although reasonable choice. Glad they're playing it. Fun archetype. I've been playing Leo combo with a lot of success. Wound up with 4 Ranger Captain, 2 Voice. Loving it. Nice. Yeah, we were playing 4 Ranger Captain yesterday. There's a lot of Storm at the moment. I'm not so sure about Voice of Victory, but it's reasonable. I don't think Voice is that good unless you're playing a Johnny and Bombardment. It is good with Guide and Pride, though. So let's see if they have a discharge for my Shaman. If they use a discharge on the Shaman, then they're not super likely to have one for the Creativity next turn. I think the Ancestral Recall Mage from Strixhaven 2 is soon the best card in Modern. Is this a leak or manifesting? I've gotten 3 different people ritualing into Voice that they couldn't remove because of Voice. That's interesting. Did you watch Poppergeddon? I don't know what Poppergeddon is, but sounds sick. Why not Ghost Quarter? Seems like huge potential with 2 land drops. Cost too high. Well, yeah, the colorless land drop is not very free, but also the thing is, you have insane inevitabilities as the coffer deck already without Ghost Quarter. You're able to loop so well. You're able to just churn through your deck with Cling to Dust and Revelations, and now you just kill them with blood. And so you just basically never want to lose a land drop. You want to always have as many lands as possible, because the more lands in play, you have insane amount of mana, churns through your entire deck. And I also think Blast Zone is a little bit better as an interactive card, especially because it kills, especially in the Karn build, because it kills Pithing Needle. But maybe that's less important than I think it is. All right, let's discard just Steam. Maybe let's discard Steam Vents and Goryos. All right, we'll see if their last card is a Thraben Charm or a Galvanic Discharge or a Mana Tithe, I guess. It's a 5-mana creature that draws 3. Okay, interesting. So next turn we can maybe Creativity X equals 2. Hopefully, I'm glad that we did hit the Emrakul. Emrakul, we might have died. Although we could hit Raph and the Emrakul in 1. When do spoilers start for? When do spoilers start for Strixhaven? I feel like we definitely want to block the Guide of Souls because I guess they could kill it with Discharge. But also if they have Discharge and then it's the only creature we block and we don't die. It's a leak, I see. Well, they let the block happen. I gain 7 and I take 5. They flip over a Fatal Push, so I think this is slightly higher than 4 mana value. Oh, it's one of the right, I forgot there's a bunch of Strixhaven cards in the Turtle pre-release stuff. But look at Ancestral Recall. Wait, it's okay, those who are calling it Ancestral Recall, is it it's is it like enter the battlefield, make a copy of Ancestral Recall, that 5-mana legend from Modern Horizons 2? Is it and it's just Commander legal, not Modern legal? It's an adventure called Ancestral Recall. Cool. It's not a modern card, or it is a modern card? All right, so let's get in there. We get to put an Atraxa into play with Raph here. 5-mana creature you need to prepare, which is the new mechanic that only then gives you the. So okay, so it's like adventure, but you have to cast the other side first. It's interesting. Gonna take a fetch land. Gonna take a fatal push. Gonna take a fable. I guess we'll grab the profane tutor. Although probably just gonna get looted away if they're not just immediately dead. They're down to 5 and then they absorb 4. Yeah, I think they can double block and go to 1, but instead they just decide to die, which is fair. The whole squad. What does it take to beat a bunch of 1, 2, and 3 drops? Just a Griselbrand, an Emrakul, a Raph Mikey, and an Atraxa. It was a simple formula. Modern is flourishing. Modern is great right now. A simple formula, to be sure. Simple but effective. All right, so I'm going to bring in the Pyroclasms. I'm going to bring in the Brotherhood ends. I'm going to bring in the Flashfires. Sideboarding a little weird. I want some Thoughtseize. I think I want 3 Thoughtseizes. I do want the Cling to Dust. I think I'm mostly just gonna. It's weird because like Profane Tutor for Flashfires is kind of good against Blink, and this matchup it's a lot less reliable. Yeah, Flashfire has been pretty good. It's not too out there these days. Maybe we could play 1 Profane Tutor. Maybe we could go down an Edict. I guess the Edicts are not all that good. Could play 2. Let's do that. 2. Yeah, we brought a bunch of extra removal. Yeah, so Flashfire is very good against Blink and Boros. And it also like curves the Profane Tutor. Well, I'm definitely gonna keep this. If we draw a Raph Mikey, I'll definitely Thoughtseize myself turn 1. I Thoughtseize myself off stream with this deck. I'm like, chat would have loved this. They would be going crazy right now. Hopefully no Ragavan. No. Fine. Fine. Are the leaked SOS cards legal? I don't know. I guess we'll find out, you know. I'm never in a huge rush for these spoilers, although Adventure Recall sounds fun. Yeah, but the new set is coming out a little less than a month. Mac with the 5-pack. If you've got to get stuff from Mac, make sure to thank him. It's very nice of you. Appreciate you. How can you tell if your subscription actually went through? Well, you should have you're a subscriber. I can tell because you have your little sub badge here. Hopefully they don't flip Thoughtseize. I did trim 1. They flipped my Griselbrand. So now I only have Raph Mikey and Emrakul in the deck. Hopefully they don't cast the Griselbrand. Am I right or am I right? Or there's a Pyroclasm which we could play. My opponent's kind of representing Thraben Charm, so I think this is okay to do. The next set is Strixhaven. They know I top deck this too because I Thoughtseize myself turn 1. They don't Thraben Charm, so maybe they don't have it. That's okay though. I think it's fine to Pyroclasm still here. They discarded Discharge. These subs are for the stop playing Golgari advice. I died laughing. I played too much Golgari. Now my buddies have a clip to send me. I guess crazy. It's funny. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I just know the, is there any playable Thoughtseize deck? It's just code for stop. You need to stop playing Golgari. There are other Thoughtseize decks out there. I worked a little more on Sophie Cauldron concept and up with Sophie Scales. I mean, it sounds so sick. I started with this. Not anywhere close to this, but I started with your Sophie Cauldron idea, and I got like, I fell into like despair. I'm like, what the hell what am I doing? Why am I doing this? And I kind of feel like I still feel the same way here. Like, I don't think that this combo is probably very good in scales. Maybe it's sick. Maybe it's super, super sick. You know what? It might be super, super sick. Alright, they get an Ocelot Pride off the Ranger Captain. I wonder if they're going to upkeep Sack here. They know I have a Brotherhood in, but they also know I have Goryos. Maybe they're going to be unaware. So what I don't like about casting the Goryos is if I don't find Fatal Push, then they're going to be able to sack Ranger Captain on me. So I think I'm just gonna Brotherhood end here. I do really like that Brotherhood kills this. This might be super duper sick. Um, Certainly not something even close to what I found. Did you test it at all, friend? Let me see. Sophie Under Cauldron can loop with 2 modular creatures and get infinite counters. If one of the creatures is Smith, you put all artifacts in your hand. It sounds really sick. Really, really cool, friend. I'll download it. If I test it, it won't be tonight probably. Nath with the 1 year. Welcome back. They're super cool. All right, so they spend 3 mana here. They play another copy of Ranger Captain. They know I have Dwarven Mine Creativity, but they also know I have the Goryo, so they're in a pretty tough ship. They have a Ragavan. They don't play the Ragavan. So them not playing Ragavan, it means they're bluffing, or not bluffing, but they're representing Discharge. So I think I want to wait, especially because I could maybe go at Creativity X equals 2. All right, so there's a Fatal Push. There's a Thoughtseize. There's an Arid Mesa, and that's all we get. We only get 3. Okay. So why don't we play Wooded Foothills? Hold up the Fatal Push, and then next turn we can go Thoughtseize into Creativity X equals 1. I know you don't do budget content, but for modern players looking to get in modern, not spend grocery money. So I mean, the real answer is get a subscription service on Magic Online, and then you can play a lot of stuff. And if you have a good win rate, you can even just get your money back every month. But if it's for paper specifically, Prowess maybe is the right option. This deck actually, I guess the legends are pretty expensive, but this deck did get a lot cheaper than it was. We could maybe Dwarven Mine block Ragavan. Let's see what they do with the rest of their mana. Goblin Bombardment, which is problem. So I think I get the Dwarven Mine now. And if they sack Ranger Captain to get the Ragavan through, we don't really mind. Instead, they use their Galvanic Discharge. So maybe they're going to sack the Ranger Captain on my upkeep. Although maybe they're going to think that the Bombardment is going to be enough here. They flip over by Flashfires. Would have been a fun top deck. Especially with the Arena exerted. Right, we need them to maybe brick this turn. Wait, Prowess is $2,000? There's no way Prowess is $2,000. So they don't have a third Surveil Land probably, although they should. I'm still a believer in the third Surveil Land in Boros for whatever that's worth. All right, let me cook here. I'm playing around them not having a creature in their hand. So I can Edict the Ragavan, then I can Creativity this next turn. I was also thinking about like being able to go like Fatal Push the Ranger Captain with like the fetch land on the stack, but the problem with that line is they just sack the Ranger Captain. So they get a Plains in response to the Edict here for some reason. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna cast the creativity. I don't know if this is. I don't know why they fetched, but I'm casting. Not getting a lot better. Playing around Mana Tithe. Ding, ding, ding. We win. All right, so we played, played against a lot of Boros lately. I definitely, when I built the decks last night, definitely thinking about the Boros matchup. Tell you what. Love this card. There's like basically nothing else you could like even possibly do for the matchup, right? Because you can't play Grafdigger's Cage, you can't play Vexing Bauble. We also like can Goryo's them sometimes really fast, but you can't do more than play 7 Discord spells. I think you could play 8 Discord spells. Yeah, Ashiok, you have an Ashiok. That's true. Getting Profane Tutor for Ashiok. Sacred Foundry, Scalding Turn is probably. So it's Jeskai probably, right? Let me. I think we Thoughtseize. I guess we stop the Riddler Ephemerate turn 2. Maybe you talked about this before, but why one each copy of Emrakul Atraxa and not like 3 of the best one on average? Because of creativity. If you creativity for multiple, you want to be able to put multiple creatures into play. So we're 2 for 2 for being on the draw against Ragavan this morning. Although 2 for 2 for being able to board in Flashfires, huh? Why can't you Vexing Bubble? If you put Vexing Bubble in your deck and you cast creativity, then what could be put into play at that point? Open book quiz. I ran an issue to request a refund. I'm having issues placing a Leo combo at end of turn. There's so many triggers, and Yieldtall isn't working because the triggers from Leo 8 over 5 minutes. Yeah, that definitely can happen. That definitely can happen. Is this normal just Blink as Fable stock? Yeah, super stock. They discarded a Flage for some value there and the Ephemerate. And they play a Casey Jones. Flashland would be really nice. Vexing Bubble subs creativity. You can creativity into it. When you creativity, you hit artifacts or creatures. That's the reason why there are no artifacts in this deck, because you creativity into them. So they're probably going to haste a Flage next turn. I can Goryo's Griselbrand, block the Flage, gain 7, take 3, 5, take 9. So I won't be able to pay 7. So if I want to set up to creativity after I need to looting, and I miss. Okay, bummer. So down a game against Jeskai. We get to bring in Flashfires here. Don't need to go too crazy. I think the matchup's pretty good overall. It's gonna be like kind of mindful of Solitude. I don't know that I want to play Consign for Solitude. I think I'm just gonna go into Flashfires, down to looting, click submit. Don't think I want to rest. They're just so creature heavy. Got any recommendations for interaction instead of the Ragster in Blink? I could recall you mentioning at some point. I'm not exactly sure. One thing is, if you don't play Ragavan in Blink, you really feel the dynamic of your deck is super slow against combo. You know what I mean? I think I'm maybe more in favor of main deck Ragavan and then have it be a big part of your sideboard plans against combo decks, but side it out and like the Blink mirrors and side it out against Boros and Prowess and Affinity. Okay, on the play. Pretty hand. Very pretty hand. We're putting L Bolt. L Bolt. You just play Bolt. Or Discharge over Profane Tutor in this format being too removal heavy. Yeah, 11 removal spells is like too many for like a reanimator deck. It's way too many. Gonna take the Teferi because of the Profane Tutor. was Goryo's there for 7 life without paying to draw the line. I mean, it's like it's not a good line. You're just like, okay, I'm gonna spend 7 mana, or I'm gonna spend 2 mana. My play is gonna be to gain 7, do nothing. You know what I mean? I think it's way better to set yourself up for success by trying to looting into the land, block the Flage with Griselbrand, get the Flage off the field, and set up to like creativity, and hopefully that's even enough to stabilize next turn. So take this down. Obviously, we really, really want to draw a land. It's not an untapped land to play the Fable, but we will take it. They're going to play Felia. But if they go Felia into Riddler and they don't find a Discharge or a Solitude, we can Creativity this next turn. Maybe Flashfires the following turn. So I'm going to tutor up Dwarven Mine here. And hope that I've dodged a draw and removal spell, that they have drawn a good bit of cards since we saw their hand with Thoughtseize. Yeah, if they had all white sources, maybe I would Flashfires, although we're pretty behind on board. Okay. An interesting one to find here. If they've Solitude, we do get to gain 15. Maybe if they have like Arena, Quantum Riddler. No, that would be one short of lethal. They didn't haste the KC, so they're just kind of all in on finding a Solitude. The graveyard Lantern off the archive, and then they have a think. Hopefully this isn't a think about what to pitch to Solitude. I think that what they're going to end up doing is attacking with both of their creatures, but blinking Casey Jones to dig deeper for Solitude. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting here. Instead, they decide to do this, which means they don't have Solitude in their hand, which means I should just be able to Flashfires and then wipe their board. Opponent not a conceder here. Okay, conceder here after they accept their fate. Okay, so we're going to game 3 on the draw for game 3. I think I'm going to go one less Profane Tutor on the draw, especially seeing that they have the Teferis. We do have some Edicts for Teferi, so if they we suspend Profane Tutor, then they play Teferi. Sometimes we just Edict, but sometimes they also just wait until the turn before the Profane Tutor is coming off, and then the Edict doesn't get the Teferi. Both Dwarven Mines. Let's mulligan. Are you guys keeping on a mulligan to 6 on the draw against Blink? Are you going to keep 5 lands creativity, or are you going to go to 5? Both seem pretty bad. I guess I'm going to go to 5. Yikes. Got to keep on 5. No way keep. 5 is bad too. It's 5 is bad too. I think it's close. In a slow matchup, especially. Well, the creativity experience. And they have Stevens when I've got Flashfires. Pyroclasm, no. Pyroclasm is not very good in this matchup. We have a lot of removal. Or enough removal. We don't need the Pyroclasms. But it's like this is just Guy Blink. It's not, Pyroclasm is not very good against Felia, really. Alright, let's keep moving. Maybe we should have kept the 6. I don't know. We'll look in this in the blind. If we knew the matchup, there are some matchups you'd keep that in, I think. Let's put back a Blood Crypt because we're gonna be able to surveil turn 1. Godless Shrine, Thoughtseize. I would really doubt they take the looting here. They do take my tutor. Let's see what we find off the Arid Mesa. I think we're going to keep that for Frog and Felia. A little awkward against Felia because If we play the Fable, they could just we won't have the push up, but hello, Overgrown Tomb. The Abzan coalition is not as defeated as you might think. Okay, good to have a legend in the yard for finding a Goryo, so we get to play the Fable. Then they Force of Negation pitching Mending because they're playing Goryos. So an Abzan Coalition actually dead as expected. Let's Goryos our Atraxa. And they Solitude the Atraxa, which is honestly not bad for us because we can't keep the Atraxa in play. So I'm just happy to get 2 more cards. Same amount of life. Could definitely take the Thoughtseize. Oh, okay, sorry. We want to take the Creativity. Take the Creativity. Do I take Edict? I already have a removal spell. Cling to Dust is really insane, I guess. And then, yeah. All right. So let's go play Dwarven Mine this turn. So we can Creativity X equals 2 next turn. I guess when we cut Ren in 6, your Atraxas are a little worse. So they don't have Force of Negation in their hand because they didn't have it last turn, and they didn't have a land last turn, and they drew a land this turn. Does that make sense? Although I guess now they could put one in their hand here. They don't. They do put an Atraxa in their graveyard, and then they concede the game. Okay. Quick one. Let's bring in our Duresses. For you, chat. For you, for your viewing pleasure. I'm gonna put the Flashfires in. I think we'll do like 2 push, 2 edicts. I guess we're on the draw. We probably want 3 push for the frog. Probably down to tutor on the draw. I feel like I haven't seen any Felly in a list lately. Am I moving away from the Blink meta or just haven't found anything? I literally have a new Felly deck as the backup deck today, funny enough. Is it an Ashiok matchup? I don't think it usually is. It's just like really easy for them to put the reanimation target in the yard and then go immediately, especially when we're on the draw, but Ashiok is also like always a high variance card. It's always kind of reasonable. So they have a Force of Negation, I guess. A little bit risky to take the Indulgence and leave them with Goryos, but their hand is really non-functional unless they draw like a very small range of cards, like a Frog or an Indulgence. So then they drew a Delta for turn. Yeah, I think trying to keep their hand non-functional is really valuable. So discard a Griselbrand. The Profane Tutor is like kind of never. I'm just never gonna use it this game because I'm gonna be casting Fables. I'm gonna try Ask Coffee Decks and have to work with your recommend. The new one is your card one. I like the new one a lot, although our sample size with it's a lot smaller. But I really like the new one a lot. They put a Delta in their graveyard there. Then they've drawn another land for turn and Marshflat, so their hand is still Island, Griselbrand, Goryos, Force of Negation, Solitude. When we cast a Fable this turn, my opponent's going to cast their Force of Negation, which I guess is good news, because then we can Creativity the following turn. Although I guess that has the issue of running into the Solitude, maybe. Oh, they don't Force. Okay. That was acceptable, of course. Question, you said your thought is Archon is really bad right now. What's the logic behind that thought? Oh, did they mill Atraxa and they gore? It's brutal. Well, what's funny is like when I said that, I immediately like right after that said why, but like the Goryos creatures are much better against Boros, and you're like when you play 4 Archons, you are like so dead to your opponent registering a copy of Surgical Extraction. Nathan Spillman, for tier 1 for 6 months advance. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. They get Thoughtseize, Hallowed Fountain, Atraxa, and they also have Ephemerate. Okay, I guess we're just going to lose to the Surveil land here. A game 3 on the play. On the play, do I want 4th Profane Tutor? I think I do. On the play, I think I want to go all Edicts. 3 Edict, 1 Push. And then what do I want for this? Maybe a Looting. I think that's okay. Trimming Looting, I'm doing it more. It definitely feels really weird. Okay, let's keep this. Put to the Molda 6 here. Yeah, you're a little bit less weak to surgical if you're not playing a persist build of creativity. And you're playing the Archons. 2 consigns could be good to cheat your own things in. I don't necessarily think so. I mean, they could be good, sure. Uh, funny hand, I guess. I think the cheating stuff in is not that important. It's like it's really only relevant if you Goryo's Griselbrand or Atraxa. I mean, it's nice when you board them in, but I don't think the consign's that good against them. So they mill an Atraxa and they find a Goryo's. So I guess instead of surveilling, I'm gonna be clinging the Atraxa. Sorry, we want to duress first, just in case. The one draw step was indeed force negation. All right, I'm gonna try to find either Emrakul plus looting or Atraxa or Raph off the next draw 7. Did not find that. I think we could go to 3. We could go to 3. The problem with 3 is like these Thoughtseizes aren't that good. It's probably okay. Let's go to 3. Okay, so I found Emrakul. So next turn I can Thoughtseize myself. Duress them, Thoughtseize myself, Goryo's Emrakul. No, I won't have enough black mana. Okay, well, let's go to cleanup step here. So I want to keep a creativity. I want to keep 1 Goryo's. I want to keep a Dwarven Mine. I want to keep a Thoughtseize. I want to keep an Emrakul. Get over here. So we're keeping these 5 and 2 more. Duress and Fable, probably. Make sure I didn't accidentally click any of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, look at the duress. Okay. Let me know if you're paying that last 7. I think it was okay, even though we didn't find a looting to go with the Emrakul. Vegas and Seattle getting teams. Let's go. Cool. Hopefully the owners of the Mavericks move to Vegas. So they're oh my no, dude! 2 games in a row. Come on, man. Oh my gosh. All right, we're doing one more at least. Y'all keeping this? I think I'm mulligan in the blind. Some matchups I'd keep in. Have I happened to brew a KC deck with Vial yet? No, but I do think that those cards are good together. Arid Mesa go. Hopefully you have some time to do some surveilling. I guess we'll graveyard that. Could be okay to keep, depending like Tutor Goryo's maybe. I'll go to make a note for Fleshraker Marvel. We always did well with that the Marvel deck, but it's been like a long time. Opponent's playing something kind of interesting. Oh boy. I'm glad I went with the second mountain today. It's a basic plains. So next turn, I think I'm pretty likely to tutor a Fable of the Mirror Breaker if they field over my crypt. What's this? Fetch but don't crack is probably the play. I disagree. Like, they price a freedom you just like feel so dumb. Probably didn't expect fetch crack. I mean, if this takes their entire turn again, and then I just like tutor a Fable, cast a Fable, I feel like I'm happy. And if they price a free to me because they're playing 8 of these, I'm gonna feel so dumb I didn't Profane Tutor. Shout out Ren and 6, by the way. Oh, I am out of Blood Crypts, but maybe that's okay. I can get Steam Vince off the Wooded Foothills this turn. Yeah, we have played Ocelot Pride. We have played Guide Pride Cake, but I guess we haven't played Guide Pride Fleshraker. Alright, let's get a Fable. So we have 2 Theaters, 1 Steam Vince, and 4 Dwarven Mines still in the deck. Don't mana tithe me. I'm a good man. I'm an honest man. Thank you. What we're using to make token copies of Pride in the Vampire copy triggers deck? Springheart Nantuko. So I'm not going to be able to play another Fable if I tutor one this next turn. Don't we get a land of no basics? Brother, I got 2. You just popped in. My opponent has Price of Freedom, Field Me, and now I have 2 basics in play. What are you talking about? I play an extra basic compared to most creativity builds, even. Yeah, we do. We're gonna get maybe give them a taste of their own medicine with Flashfires. Right, we discard a creativity. I think we discard this push as well. Did find a Goryos. No, don't worry, Breeble. Just thought it was funny. All right, I think now we go fetch pass. Is it a line to go for Emmy to shuffle lands back in? You know, I feel like it could come up for sure. Hopefully they don't have an ephemerate. I guess I'm gonna graveyard that. It's not the worst. So let me surveil first in case I find something for the Goryos. I don't. I do find an edict. I don't know if I want to keep this, but I guess we could keep it on top and loot it away next turn potentially. We might get solituded. Wait, so this is one more than the typical build. The current combo deck requires a density of mountains. Only one's 1 basic mountain seems odd. Yeah, most creativity builds only play 1 basic, but it's because with surveillance and shocks, like one thing is once you get to 4 mountains, you just want to get Dwarven mines, and so yeah, they usually play 1 basic, especially the 5 color builds. Maybe this is an answer to the Fable. Although if this is Wrath for Fable, they're gonna want to attack first. I don't know if that's what this is. If this was Wrath, I don't know if they'd use these discharges like that though. It's a magnetic Hellkite, okay. So we have shuffled away the Edict. They forget to attack with the Hellkite. Let's find a Dwarven Mine, I suppose. A lot of those in the deck. So we could go for the Dwarven Mine. Let's go for the creativity. This is on the Citadel's on white, so they don't have discharge up. They could have another removal spell, but I think we're supposed to jam this turn, and then maybe we can go flashback looting Goryo's the Mikey next turn. Although connected. So now what do we want to take? We're gonna take the land. Gonna take the Fable. Do I want another creativity? I guess I have a looting in the yard already, so yeah, let's take Edict creativity probably. They target the Atraxa with Flage. So then they're also going to discharge. Then they're going to put me to 2. So I can creativity X equals 2 and put Griselbrand and Emrakul into play. Or I could try to Goryo's Raph. And if I Goryo's Raph, then I either win by hitting Emrakul. Or I get to gain 7 and go to 9 if I hit Griselbrand. But the problem with hitting 9 is that oh, I guess I'm dead to Flage anyways. If I go for creativity, I'm for sure dead to Flage. Yeah, Goryo's Atraxa might be the best move then. So if I Goryo's Atraxa, if I Goryo's Atraxa, I go to 9 and I still die. No, I still die. It's the same as hitting Griselbrand. So yeah, I think we're supposed to take the 50-50. Cling to dust in another life, I guess. Flip a coin to determine the outcome of the game. Miss. Awful play. Right, so, okay, so I'm up to 9, and I died of the Flage after the flying. Oh my gosh, my opponent conceded first. Was Reed Duke right the whole time? Literally, I don't think I've ever seen that in my whole streaming career. Finger on the concede trigger. Finger on the concede trigger. Why did he concede? Well, I mean, I spent 2 mana and I put 14 power in play. But they did not. They're not a counter here, I think. So this is turn 4 Goryo's Emrakul. I kind of like keeping a hand like this that requires like a lower land count against the all field deck. Although they do probably have a lot of graveyard hate. Okay, so there's that. Although we can maybe move into a different plan. Sure, I'll duress turn 1. Maybe dressing turn 1 is bad against Price of Freedom, but I can take the Price of Freedom is my thought. Wear Tear hits exactly Fable, and they get 2 for 1. Not sure if they should have these in. Not the biggest deal. I guess maybe one good argument to mulliganing this though is having the basic mountain in your hand is like mulliganing, maybe even worse than a mulligan. So they drew this mountain for turn. Do I want to Thoughtseize Flage? I don't think so. I guess I would take the Wear Tear. So this is their draw. Their hand is still Flage. Okay, it's fair. Flage, Wear Tear, Arena Mystery card. They played the field. So take that down. They might. Lantern my Emrakul. They shouldn't, but they might. Sometimes they get confused. Sometimes you play Magic for so long, you just kind of know what kinds of mistakes certain kinds of opponents are likely to make, you know what I mean? So next turn I can tutor Goryos with my Profane Tutor. Egg, I could get Flashfires, that's true. My opponent didn't play Flage. I think I'm supposed to tutor Goryos with this hand. I'll play around Mana Tithe. Their hand is Flage, Mystery card, but they didn't play Flage. So they could have something. Is it a 3 charm? It's a Reprieve, okay. If they had one more planes, I'd probably tutor the Flashfires there. Pretty good. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't reprieve the tutor. Good point. Okay, one good top deck deserves another. I think they did the right thing. It was definitely correct for them to reprieve the tutor because they didn't have the lantern in hand. They just top decked the lantern. Their hand is Flage, Mystery card. They have another reprieve. Looking for another Dwarven Mine, I guess. Especially because they can Flage this one. They might sack the lantern. No. For a card there. So they has Flage, Mystery card. They have the lantern up too, of course. They kill my dwarf. They have Arena Flage next turn, which can hit me for 20. I have 3 looks at a Dwarven Mine. I got a lot of Dwarven Mines in the deck, of course. There's one. So is one of their mystery cards a 1-mana removal spell that they didn't have last turn? We'll see. I could target the lantern. I don't think so. It's been one of those days so far. We'll see if we can steal game 3. I'm gonna be on the play for game 3. Weren't we supposed to keep that Goryo so we could double Goryos or Atraxa? They already exiled the Atraxa with the Lantern ETB. Was not in the yard anymore. You know, it's payback for opponent messing up game 1, I guess. I'm gonna mulligan largely because of the basic mountain, but also also having double big thing in the opener is tough. This hand's interesting. I'm gonna click the keep button. I think I'm gonna put back the creativity and not be super sure about it. I want to lead on duress so that I can take a possible Soul Guide Lantern. So the hand is Reprieve, Price of Freedom, Path to Exile, Path to Exile. Well, I guess I'll just take the price. We could maybe talk ourselves into like taking both reprieves. The thing is, my hand is pretty good against reprieve because my curve is so low. And they could kind of easily just draw something good this next turn that I'd want to Thoughtseize. Okay, interesting. Now taking the reprieve is looking like it might have been a bit better, but whatever. Could take one, I guess. They drew a Wear Tear. Why not being in Pyroclasm versus Boros? Ha 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 ha. I'm gonna take the Wear Tear, I think. And I can cast the Looting this next turn. Their deck isn't like so amazing at holding up Reprieve, you know. They also may just want to Reprieve this Looting. Probably not. Alright, let's discard this. Let's discard the Edict as well. T-Paz, the 72. Thank you, welcome back. Why does Creativity play Reprieve over something else? You're a little confused. I'm playing Creativity. I don't have Reprieve. They're not playing Creativity. Maybe I'm confused. Yeah, Werter is bad in the Saga, but I don't know. I think taking one Reprieve here is a little tough. Again, maybe I should just take it both, but I didn't have the Fable in my hand at the time. So they keep a card on top and then they miss their land drop, which is interesting. If I flashback Looting, the Reprieve does line up kind of well against the Looting flashback. I'll play the Fable. Totally willing to believe it's wrong. Totally willing to believe it's wrong, though. I just don't know. I'm not sure what they're keeping on top in this kind of spot. I don't know. Maybe I'm just supposed to try to wait till I draw Goryos and I can just get the Goryos through the Reprieve. They find a field. They can field and Reprieve in the same turn. Instead, they cast a Lantern on my Griselbrand. So maybe that's the card they kept on top here. Start the 1/1 beatdown. Is my newest version Leo combo when I suggest no Seam Ripper Prison. Yeah, I like the 75. I wouldn't really change too much about it, if anything. You can play those cards. The thing about Seam Rip and Static Prison is in the Boros matchup, now that Wrath Disguise is a big part of your game plan, Seam Rip and Static Prison aren't very good into your plan. So we're going to take Profane Tutor down to 1. Dingo with 5 Elites Knight with Leo plus Brute Scale. I was watching some. I really thought that the Leos were a lot worse than Sephiroth. So after watching Dingo stream, I ended up building Sephiroth Brood Scale. That's I 4 new decks posted to the Mox Field. That's one of them. Got a lot of good brewing done yesterday. They do not reprieve the Fable. Interesting. I guess maybe they found another wear tear. Maybe they'll path the Shaman here. So their hand is path, reprieve. If I find duress off this, are they gonna Wrath? I have no idea how they're tapping out for Wildfire here. So I'm just supposed to tutor. Am I listen, if I get Mana Tithe, I'm getting Mana Tithe, you know? You don't think I've been Mana Tithe before? Well, I guess I could attack. I guess I could attack and then Creativity X equals 3 second main after duressing. Sure. So we'll get duress then. Could get Flashfires. Am I really scared of Mana Tithe? I mean, I could just go X equals 2 also. I could get Dwarven Mine and Creativity second main phase. We haven't seen a Mana Tithe yet. Get a land, easy win. Okay, I'm just gonna get mine and not play around Mana Tithe. I misclicked there. 1, 2, 3. Come on, baby, please. I'm not emotionally stable enough to get Mana Tithe here. Oof. I don't have a Griselbrand in the deck, but they also just didn't path to exile one of my things, which is a bit weird. All right, that was tense match for sure. Don't let it get you down. Put into the multi 6 here. Yeah, forgetting to check with the Phantom was pretty big too. Definitely a new to Magic Online kind of thing. Well, my opponent's on a multi 5. I'm gonna lava axe myself on turn 1 here. I have really been liking the like Rakdos with like consigned memory in the sideboard mana base compared to the Jund mana base. It's been feeling pretty good. Yay, Boros! Did beat Boros this morning. We'll see. They do have a Johnny Bombardment. I think I have to take the Ragavan, though. Let's cast a Looting. It's probably a little late for the Tutor, since we're going to play the Fable next turn. Now, the Bombardment is very good against Creativity. They do keep a card on top. Was hoping we'd find a Fatal Push or a Thoughtseize off the Looting, or, you know, get really lucky and set up for Goryos. Not a very good Looting, though. They lead on Voice of Victory, which is interesting for us. The Fable's going to be not very good into it because of the Bombardment, although now we have the option to just Edict. I think I like Edicting instead of playing the Fable. Although, could save the Edict for Flip a Johnny, although you can't do it at instant speed with the Voice in play. And then we can try to Surveil potentially into Creativity. I just remember Looting was banned. Ooh, Idyllic Range is interesting. We have a Fair Grange deck as our backup deck, funny enough. I don't know if I like it necessarily here so much. It's not the worst ever. Alright, so let's Surveil again. We find a copy of Goryos, which is interesting. I think I'm going to Graveyard. I really want to find Thoughtseize, Fatal Push, Creativity. So Cycle, Cling to Dust. I guess Edict could also be good. Okay, find the Edict. So I think I want to use the Edict to kill the Ajani. Thankfully, they do flip the Ajani. If they just choose not to here, it's a disaster. But we're able to let the Ajani flip, and then this with this Goblin Bombardment trigger still on the stack, we can make them sack the Ajani. And I think I'm gonna get a Dwarf token here. We can effectively Creativity if we top deck it, and so I'm gonna thin for that, and then also I think just having 2 Dwarf tokens to double block the Ocelot Pride next turn if they draw a removal spell for the Shaman is wise. But we did draw the Creativity, so they're going to this trades for the cat, and I put something big into play here. Totally reasonable for them to go for it here, because if I do have push for the Ajani, they can like just respond. All right, so we'll take a Creativity. We'll take a Dwarven Mine. We'll take a Fable, and probably gonna take a Goryos. All right, and they concede. Nice. Definitely a dicey game. I do think our matchup is pretty good against Boros, and a common theme you're gonna see from me from Brews today and Brews for a little bit is just I'm gonna be trying to play decks that are naturally good into Boros. Not a very easy challenge as a brewer, but this is definitely one of the most Boros heavy metagames we've had in a while. So yeah, last time I boarded in Clasm, and I boarded out 2 Tutors, 2 Thoughtseize, and I think I like the sideboard plan. Or no, sorry, it was the Flashfires also came in, 1 Thoughtseize out, 2 Tutors out, and then 2 Edicts. That's right. Yeah, I'm gonna be saying I think we're pretty good in the Boros, and then I guess I don't want to manifest this, but you can only be so good against Boros, and you can still lose if you're favored against them. We did win our first time against them today. We're up a game. I'm not trying to be too doom or gloomer. And hopefully I'll be playing a lot of Flashfires in my sideboards against Boros, so you guys aren't as bored. I like this hand a lot, being able to go push turn 1 into Profane Tutor turn 2 into Tutor up Raph for the Goryos turn 4. Maybe Brothers hit in turn 3. Amazing hand. I also updated Esper Goryos with the Grief Superior Spider-Man package. Thinking that in general Goryos is one of these decks that's like really good against Boros. That's kind of not seeing that much play. Did they make a cycle cards the Boil effect? It's only plains and islands. There's a sorcery speed destroy all I'm gonna Fatal Push now. not great if they have an Ocelot Pride, but we do have the Brotherhood end. 2 of them even. There is there's a sorcery speed boil, there's an instant speed boil, and then there's Flashfires. So now with this 69 months, they can welcome back. They have a Ragavan, which usually they play Ragavan turn 1. Maybe I could have played around it a bit better. Here's the Flashfires. I think I'm weirdly enough just going to cast the Looting. I think we need to be able to play the Brotherhood next turn. Hopefully they can't fly the guide. They flip over my Steam vents. Tsunami for Mage 4. Tsunami against what? Eats all islands. I mean, you already have a boil and Tsunami is it already is the wait, doesn't that card already exist? There's boil already, and then there's a I know there's a sorcery speed one. Is that the one? So let's see if they sack the Ranger Captain. They do. Not too surprising. I was kind of hoping to surveil something for the Goryos here. Boros players figuring out 2 years later that Ranger Captain is better than Fable is maybe bad news for the format. Like the fact that like, oh, they're playing the Leo combo. Should have thought that was the case. But the fact that this is a hand where like I had like push turn 1 into turn 3 sweeper, and we just like they're on the play, so they Ranger Captain, we can't cast their sweeper. It's like very similar to yesterday. It's like board. Yeah, it's like yeah. The MH3 Pro Tour, they just didn't play Ocelot Pride. I'm not sure how dead we are. Yeah, we're dead. Okay. I guess. Yeah, even if we draw Fatal Push. Oh, sorry, if we draw Fatal Push, we're alive. 1 out, and 3 of them. And they have the Ballista in play for the creativity. Let's not show them Flashfires. On the play for game 3. Do you think we win that game easy on the play for whatever that's worth? Pretty tempting hand. It can go really bad if I don't find a Looting or a Fable. Yeah, I think we're supposed to mulligan, and I like this hand a good bit better. Let's put back the second creativity, although I could see putting back the Looting maybe. They're also to mulligan to 6. I wonder if they played Guide of Souls turn 1 last turn because they thought maybe I have Ren and 6 still in my deck. Kind of hard to say no to a land here, I guess. I'm gonna not Looting yet. Leading Agoras in the deck is full of Cauldrons would have been meh. Talking about last game? Yeah, Leo combo in Boros is interesting. I'm glad that they're playing it. I should have thought that that's what they were doing when we sold the Grange game 1, but that is for sure what they're doing. Do you think Ice Coffee is positive win rate against Boros? I think the new build with the main deck Culling Rituals is not bad against it, but we haven't like experienced a positive win rate. Oh boy, my sideboard card, a 2-mana 1/1. Although, to be fair, maybe we should be just leaning more on Brotherhood in because of this dynamic. All right, well, 2-mana 1/1. We have 2 Brotherhood in, 2 Pyroclasms. Come on, Flashfires. Or them tapping out for a Johnny here, which I think they're almost never going to do. Yeah. I think drawing second creativity, we're supposed to jam. Yeah, it's like last game we had Brotherhood End, we needed a Pyroclasm. This game we have Pyroclasm, we need Brotherhood End. Let's see if they have a land number 4. They grab an Ocelot Pride. They time walk me. They tap out for a Cauldron. Okay, things are looking good here. Unless they have a Ballista in their hand. Oh, right, they Cauldron the Ranger Captain. Okay. So actually getting through this is going to be very difficult. Why can't they wait till Dwarven Mine triggers in the stack? I might cast some other spells. I mean, these games just feels. I mean, obviously they're playing like a different build too. I think their build's cool. But I don't know, these games against Boros, like both Cyborg games, I just have like the hands you would expect to be able to beat Boros, and they remember Ranger Captain's good. I don't. I'm not gonna talk any more about bans than I have to today, but I do believe Modern would be better with a Boros nerf and maybe a few other changes. Yeah, I saw Dingo with the. I saw this deck. Um, I, as a Leo stan, you know, I am not of the opinion that this card is playable unless you have Guide and Pride in your deck. I would much rather be in on like the Sephiroth plan and Brood Scale. Although maybe I'm just wrong. Obviously, the combo is still powerful, but the problem is just not. Having anything beyond the combo. All right, everybody's favorite matchup. When game 1, we have a pretty good Boros matchup, lose 2 summer games just like yesterday. I know exactly. It's like, it was exactly what happened yesterday is we're like, okay, win game 1, built the deck to have a pretty good matchup in general. Win game 1, and then have like almost perfect sideboard, have almost perfect hands game 2 and game 3, like today and yesterday, and then it's just not enough. I think this is fine to draw. If Amulet Titan is the best deck of Modern, why do I come across it rarely? Hard to pilot. And it's hard to pilot, and people don't like grinding it because it's like incredible. Like it's very tedious to click through. Is it the best deck in Modern? It certainly seems to usually have the best like paper tournament results, or at least it has for like a bunch of like the last RCs and the last Modern Pro Tour. As far as Magic Online tournaments, it is also like really nerfed on Magic Online, where like actually finishing a match with it can be difficult and tedious. I think one thing too is like the way the metagame has kind of coalesced around Boros and around Prowess, to I guess, and Affinity. Like those 3 decks are like really defining the format right now with their speed. It's like it's very difficult to it's very difficult to like not think the Titan's insane right now. It's just so good in those matchups. Yeah, there's been like an insane amount of Boros this week. I don't really know what's going on. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if they're just like because of the BNR. I'm not sure. It's a good sign they're talking about Boros the way they talked about Rhinos, boring, repetitive. Maybe it's also just like their ban philosophy is very inconsistent in general. I think this is a little bit weird. I think I just want to trade my creativity for the cat. And then this way next turn I can go Goryo's Griselbrand and have a Fatal Push still. Yeah, maybe it's because it's RCQ season, but it's been RCQ season. I've thought a little bit about messing around with other formats too. The thing is, it's like there aren't really other formats that look very good. I've heard like bad things about Standard. I don't think Legacy is super interesting to get into. Maybe Legacy is great. Modern RCQ starts a week. Oh, I thought it already started. Okay. Card design is a mess. I don't feel like it's. I feel like card design, at least. I mean, maybe I'm just like only looking at through the lens of modern. Like since MH3, it's been fine. Before MH3, it's been fine. We're just still dealing with how bad MH3 was. Are no bandless leagues still up there? Are they popular? They're not very popular. No. Dude, I'm getting destroyed by Ranger Captain all day today. Okay. I'm gonna switch over to the backup deck, I guess.